and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. They get a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They're going to try and tempt you with a cash offer on the table today.
£500.
I'd say it's a good start.
If I don't think that's enough money, I'm going to say no. Don't accept that. Take a chance, have a gamble, go to auction. You may get a little bit more money there. Today, the show comes to you from Oswestry in Shropshire. There's a great crowd of people. They've been here since early this morning. They want to cash in their goods or maybe gamble and go to auction. But either way, they want the real deal.
With such a great turnout, there's a lot for our dealers to get their teeth into. How does David Ford feel about his first item?
I really want to buy it. It's a pewter, Archibald Knox, Liberty-looking item. Very desirable. I hope I can buy that.
Let's see if your money's good enough, David. The Duke and auctioneer Robert Stones are on standby to make sure this deal is done by the book.
Hi, Richard. Welcome to the show. You bought me in a very nice-looking object. I mean, it looks as though it's got all the things that I like.
Really?
So it's something I'd like to buy, I think. What do you know about it, Richard?
Well, I believe it's by Archibald Knox and for Tudrick and marketed at Liberty's.
Well, all of those things may be so. It's certainly the style of Archibald Knox. He was a designer. He did make things for Tudrick, and they were sold at Liberty's. Very stylish London store, so it probably dates about 1905. It looks as right as rain. Can I just pick it up, because some of this information may be on the back. All it says on the back, there's a number, a registration number, is English pewter. So all you can say is it's in the style of Archibald Knox, certainly arts and crafts. I mean, it's got it all going for it. I noticed this very nice enamel panel, which I love, is a little bit cracked, which happens to enamel quite easily. But I like it a lot.
Yeah. Nice looking article here, Robert. Very arts and crafts. How commercial is something like that?
This is a very commercial thing, there's no doubt about it. The colour of that enamelling in the base is terrific. Those lovely blues, absolutely terrific. For me, I'd like to see the pewter more of a silvery colour. The shape of it as a basket is not that commercial for me. If it was a clock or something like that, be a different ballgame altogether. So I've been a little bit reserved on price, 150, 200 pounds on that.
OK. 150 to 200 pounds. I think that's around about the ballpark. Yeah. But we've got a man here, David Ford. He likes arts and crafts. I've got a feeling this is going to catch his eye, and I think he'll give a good price for it. Let's see what he puts on the table.
OK, well, I like it a lot. And I'll try and buy it from you. You're not going to tell me what you want, are you?
Not at this stage.
No, nobody ever will. Well, let's be serious. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 pounds.
That's not good enough, David. Oh, sorry.
Here's David. He'll give some input.
Well, I think I agree with you. I don't think that's enough money that's on the table. 150 to 200, 180 to 220 is the area of the estimations. I think it's realistic. But bear in mind, there is a commission to deduct if you go to the auction, though I do feel that's a fashionable item.
Yes, well, I've got to give you some more money, haven't I? Because I do quite like it. In fact, I like it quite a lot. £120, £140, £160. Now I have stopped.
Really? I'm looking for 200, David.
£160 on the table, cash today. Cash is king, they say.
Yes, 200 cash.
I'll split it with you because I do like it. £180, and I really have stopped. So if you want 200, you'd have to speculate and go to auction. I think you'd be lucky to get that personally after commission. I think it's fair to you and fair to me to give me a chance. So have we got a deal? Can we shake hands? Great. Thank you very much.
All right, cheers.
I always have a problem with this style of thing because my wife adores anything of this genre. So the trouble is, I put my money on the table, take it home, and 9 out of 10 she's going to say, I really like that. And so I never end up selling it, so I don't get a profit. It just cost me £180.
You can't put a price on making your wife happy, David. Oh, and look at this pretty outfit on Brenda Haller's table. But is it her style?
It's a little bit Heath Robinson. How do I break it to the lady very gently that it's not a quality piece?
Let's see if Janet can convince you otherwise, Brenda.
Who's our friend?
I don't know. A very old one.
Very old
one.
OK, tell me a story about it then.
All I can remember is when I was a child, my mum used to work doing home help for a blind lady.
OK.
Now, whether it belonged to this lady or was before her time, I don't really know.
Now, looking at it, because I do sell vintage clothes, so
right.
I do look at all the thread work and things like that. This is a made-up piece. I wondered whether she did amateur dramatics and it was a costume for something.
Right.
This, to me, is a made-up piece of different materials from different eras.
Right.
What you've got here is something relatively modern within the last sort of 50, 60 years. Now, she was obviously a very thin lady.
Yes.
Because I think that's probably a 22-inch waist.
Yes.
Once upon a time, I was a 22-inch waist, and that was lovely.
I was, actually.
I know. Where have those days
I
gone?
know.
Oh, my goodness. All right. 10, 20, £25.
I still think it's worth more than that.
Yeah.
For the age of it and the work that's gone
But
into
the
it.
work isn't fantastic.
No.
So I'm looking, the price-wise, to use it for display.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you just put a little bit more than that?
I will put another £5 on. But that's where I want to leave it.
Right.
Oh, somebody's crawling in behind you.
Now, Janet, does that seem a little bit of a disappointment to you? I mean, I know it's a family piece, and when you came along today, were you thinking, well, I think it's worth a bit more than that?
I did a little bit. I mean, I wasn't over-ambitious.
Okay.
But a little bit.
Well, I'm looking at the waist there, and I'm thinking 22 inches. I think that's what you said.
I did say that.
Now, the reason I'm asking this is because, you see, Brenda used to be a glamour model. And she used to have a 22-inch waist. I'm right about this?
Absolutely, David. 22-inch waist at 24 age.
And so she's probably thinking, I wonder if I could still get into that.
Not a hope. You cheeky boy, you. Oh, dear.
OK, 30 quid. Can we get another tenner off you?
No, David.
Can we get a fiver off you,
Not
Brenda?
even a fiver. Have you seen the stitch work on this?
I'm going to say, take her money.
Right.
I think you should go to auction.
Not even another £5?
No.
No.
Not even another fiver. Not even another £1, Janet.
OK, then a deal.
Oh, no, I want you to go auction.
Thank you. Nice doing business.
Scuppered again.
Thank you. I came here to learn about it, and I've learned a lot more off Brenda that I didn't know before, so yes, I'm happy.
That's about its worth for a display item. I don't know many ladies of 22 inches these days.
Well, Brenda, if you can't squeeze into it, maybe you can still squeeze a profit out of it. Next, a taste of the Far East. Jenny's hoping to tempt David Tupman with her Japanese porcelain.
Right, Jenny, you brought us in a vase. Can you tell us a bit about it?
I had it given to me about 40 years ago from an old lady, and I've just kept it ever since.
And why have you decided to sell it?
Because I've got to downsize.
Yeah. OK, let's have a look at it. It's a Japanese. Imari is the description of the palettery, of the colouring, which is red and blue. Late 19th century, circa 1900.
Right.
Bottle vase. It appears to be in pretty good condition. It's got a tiny little mark on top, but really in pretty good condition. It's not that easy to sell at the moment, Japanese Imari.
No.
Partially because of the Japanese economy,
Yes.
I don't know why, partially because of fashions.
That's right.
It's not incredibly easy to sell. So I hope you're not going to be disappointed.
Well, I'll soon tell you.
OK, I'll put some money on the table.
Right.
Let's see how we go. It's a good start.
It's a good start, yes. A very good start.
£50.
Right. No. Definitely not.
Definitely not. Well, I'm going to have to increase my offer a little bit, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
£70, Jenny. That's about as far as I'm prepared to go.
Can't go a bit more.
Let's see what David has to say.
Did I hear the words right, Jenny?
Yes.
That's as far as I'm going to go on this fabulous Amari pattern vase.
That's what he said.
Well, I think it's colourful, decorative, great design, in perfect condition. I think that's a nice thing, and that should be worth another 20 quid. Now, if David, with all his rich friends, is not going to give you that other £20,
right,
you and I will go off to the auction for an afternoon out, girl.
Righty-ho.
And we'll have a good time at the auction.
So do you fancy a day out with David?
No, I'd rather you give me some more money.
No. £70 is really my best offer.
Right.
It's the best I can do.
I'll go to auction then.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Have you been to the auctions before?
Yes, I have.
Well, you're going to have a good day out, and I'm sure David will look after you very well.
Okay.
And thanks very much indeed for bringing it in. I doubt, after commission is deducted, that she will get much more than £70.
We'll see who's right, David. Let's nip across to the sale room. The vase is about to go under Robert's gavel.
OK, coming up is your Meiji period Amari vase. 80 to 120 is the estimation. If we get near and we don't quite make, are you prepared to be flexible, or are you saying, no, it's got to be 80 or nothing?
No, I don't mind 70.
OK, well, let's see what happens.
Lot number 31, the Amari Meiji period bottle vase, and a bit of interest in this. I can start the bidding at £80.
So straight in at 80. So that's your reserve, so we're away at 80.
1995, 100 with me, and 10, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170 now. 170 now, do I hear?
160, 170. There's hands all over the place. You were wrong on this, David.
Definitely.
£60. Bids there on the internet at 170 only, then all quiet and done.
So the gavel has gone down at £170. What's your first reaction?
Wonderful. I'm so pleased.
We say wonderful. We say, David Tupman, you underestimated this. Now, we take away the commission. That leaves £139.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with all that lovely lolly?
Well, go shopping for jewellery and things.
Jewellery?
Something nice.
I can see you're a bit of a fan of jewellery, so you'll be scouring those car boot sales, shops, second-hand jewellery stores, looking for something special.
Yes, something nice.
On the day, Jenny's happy. She's going home with 139 quid. She's looking for some jewellery. That's the real deal.
Coming up, a call's coming into the dealer's den.
Hello? Yes, it's one of our viewers. Really? They're saying you could do all right at the auction.
But are David and Brenda getting their lines crossed?
No, sorry, no more money. No, not a penny.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Amongst the hopefuls waiting to meet Karen Delmeny with their collectibles is Mandy.
I brought along an antique book, which is all my family portraits and relatives from the past. I'm quite good at trying to haggle and get a good offer for what I want.
Let's see how you do.
A leather album, and they're always a surprise what's inside. So tell me a little bit about it.
It's a family album. I hardly know any of who's on the photographs, but it's all my family, right, going back to the early 19th century.
Yeah.
And I know some of the people in there, but not all.
Oh, OK. I see you put a few little tags in there. So
some of them that I do know.
Yeah? Is that what they're for?
Yes.
So if I go to those... OK.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really interesting photograph, isn't it? So who's this?
That's my grandfather and grandmother, and he's actually in his Boer War uniform.
Oh, really? OK, so let's go to the other one. Mandy, I'm going to have a go at you in a minute. You know it's coming, don't you?
And that's my mother when she was at boarding school in Llandudno.
How can you bear to part with them, Mandy?
Well, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Oh, I know for sure I couldn't.
It's very,
but
very pretty though, the way of all the illustrations around. Yes.
Yeah. No, that is what's quite nice about this particular album, and that's a great example because not all the albums are decorated like this. Most of them are plain. Ordinarily, these albums, they're sort of 30, 40, 50 pounds. I would never normally put 60 quid down for one of these albums because I can buy them all day long for about 20, 30 pounds. I'm going to put 60 quid on the table, Mandy.
No, not quite. I think you need to go a little bit higher.
Why do you think it's worth more?
Because there's not just the one photograph of the Boer War. There's other interesting ones. People in gas masks. People with old cars, and it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I really think it is worth quite a bit more yet.
I put another tenner down, that's £70, Mandy, and that's the equivalent of 90 quid at auction.
Can I just £5 more?
Oh, you've asked so nicely, haven't you? Do you know, I'm not going to lose this for a fiver. So we get extra £5, that's 75 quid total. We got a deal?
Definitely a deal.
Excellent,
Thanks
very much.
A picture-perfect finish for both ladies. Hello? Who could be calling at this time?
Oh, memory lane. All the dates I used to make on a phone like this. Oh, my goodness.
Go on, Brenda. Don't keep Janice hanging on.
Tell me about the phone.
Well, we've had it for about 20 years.
Yes.
My husband bought it off a collector.
Yeah.
We have had it in use.
Have you?
About 10 years ago, actually.
Right.
And it's just a polished ornament now.
BT phone, Bakelite. We all had them. Red one, green one, any other colour, more money. Why couldn't you have brought a red one in?
I haven't got one.
Oh. Or a green one?
Oh, no. David's got a green one in his garage. He's informed me earlier.
What, the David?
The David.
Oh, right. I'll have to have a word with him, see if he wants to get rid of it. £10 plus 10 makes 20. That's big money for that. You've gone quiet.
Because I'm not tempted.
Well, £30 tempt you.
No.
I am going to go £40. That's what that phone is worth to me.
Oh.
You're staring at me. She's staring at me, David.
Oh.
Hello, darlings. A room with a view.
I just rang you. You didn't answer.
Oh, no. Well, I was in the garage looking at my other telephone at the time. I'm amazed, but they tell me now 60 to 80, 60 to 90 for one of these. I'm going to let you make your mind up. Hello? Yes, it's one of our viewers. What do you think? Should she take the money or should she gamble? Really? They're saying you could do all right at the auction.
No, sorry, no more money. No, not a penny. That's it, finito.
Not even a little bit more.
No. You've heard what everybody has to say. £40 on the table.
It's a deal.
It's a deal. Well done. What are you going to spend it on?
Lunch.
Nice lunch.
Lovely.
Enjoy.
Bottle of wine.
Oh, now you're talking.
Back in the den, is David Tutman keen to secure this 19th century padlock?
It's the sort of thing I really quite like buying, so I'm going to try and buy it. I hope it's got the combination, because otherwise I think it's going to be very difficult to kind of get it open and make it more difficult to sell it, but I should be trying to buy it. Gordon, what have you brought in for us today? It looks really interesting.
An old combination lock.
And where did you get it from?
From my wife's father, about 40 years ago.
And why you decided to sell it?
Well, I wanted to come and see your programme, and I thought I'd bring that.
And thank you very much for bringing in a really interesting item. Let's have a look and see what we got. we've got a combination lock which has 4 reels which have letters on from A round to P. And on this, if we turn it over, we've got the maker's name, which is Hobbs & Co. and London at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now, Hobbs & Co., I don't know exactly when this was made, but I think it must have been made in the sort of first half of the 19th century, would be my guess, looking at the style of it. Funnily enough, I bought one of these recently, which had Oxford Prison written on it.
Yeah.
It's such a huge padlock like that, it was probably would have come from something like a prison or a...
Yes.
I see A to P is 16 letters, so times 4, the combinations there, I think there's 65,536 combinations. So it's going to take us a very long time to pick this lock. I don't suppose you have any idea what the combination is, do you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you've got it with you. Oh, fantastic.
Her Majesty's.
Her Majesty's...
Jail service.
Jail service.
That's
it could be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do we think that's what it is?
Yes, it is.
So it probably is a prison padlock, isn't it?
Yeah. The N comes out, this M comes out.
Would you like to do it, Gordon?
If I can, it'll take a time.
We've got all day. Fantastic. You've got it open.
Yeah.
OK, let's bug it back down and let's talk about the money. Right. Let's see if we can tempt you. I'm going to put down 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds.
A little bit more.
I'm going to put down another 20 pounds, Gordon. How does that sound? Let's see what David has to say about that offer.
Well, Gordon, I'll tell you what I think about this. I've heard David say that it possibly was used in a prison. In fact, you said you had one previously.
That's right, yeah.
My only thoughts are the kind of people that were in prison in the 19th century, amongst them would be some rather clever and canny people. Perhaps they'd be a forger, or perhaps they'd be a picklock man. And I'm not so sure that playing around with something like that within a very short period of time, those prisoners could be off down the road.
There are over 65,000 combinations on that, David. Not that quickly.
OK. Some of those people have a long time to play around with those combinations. What I do feel is we have a commercial object here. I'm going to say David's offer of £100 is a realistic offer with no deductions, and also he'll want to play around with that for the next 2 years to get into it.
So, Gordon, what do we think?
Couldn't go another 20.
I'm going to put another £10 down, Gordon. £110.
Yes, sir.
Have we got a deal?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and thanks for bringing in such a really interesting object.
I'm satisfied with the money I got.
Gordon was a lovely man. Great deal. Really enjoyed it.
It'll go in the kitty, I expect.
Oh, nice one, Gordon. After the break, Karen's getting a ticking off from the Duke.
There's too much of a profit there for you. We need more money. Aye, bit more money on the table.
Oh, all right then.
But who will have the final say? The team are in Oswestry in Shropshire, and the locals are continuing to flood in. Some have even made their way onto Karen's table.
Staffordshire Queen, that's my name. I buy loads of Staffordshire. Looking forward to this.
Huey, lovely to meet you. And I see you brought some Staffordshire friends with you today,
right.
Which isn't a million miles away from where we are in Oswestry, is it?
No.
Nice to see it. What's the story behind these?
Well, I got them from a relative. You know.
Inherited?
Well, more or less, yeah.
You've had them at home, have you?
Yeah.
And have you got many pieces of Staffordshire, or is it just these bits?
No, just these few, really.
OK. This particular figure here is Little Red Riding Hood. And it's that they're not a pair of Little Red Riding Hoods, they're two of exactly the same figure. These ones here they're market traders, aren't they, going off to market with their wares. They're known as Staffordshire flatbacks, decorated at the front. Again, very typical of about 1880s. This is when they were mass produced in this era. The story is that they employed children to do it. I don't know how true that is, which is why you've got such crude paintwork. I mean, there is no finesse to it whatsoever. I'll put some money down, Hughie. The trouble is with me is that I buy and sell these things all day long, so I'm pretty close on the value of them, and I don't know if this is going to live up to expectations. But my offer for the 4 pieces is £70. I could be in trouble.
I can
here.
imagine you're a bit disappointed with what you see on there.
Yeah.
Well, let me sympathise with Karen in some ways and say Staffordshire figures in recent years have not been doing anywhere near as good as they used to do. Now, the independent valuers and the auctioneers say 150, 180. There's too much of a profit there for you. We need more money. Aye, bit more money on the table.
Oh, all right then. I knew you weren't going to like the offer because that's always the problem with somebody that deals with this stuff day in, day out. They know it almost to the penny. Yeah. I mean, I'll stick another tenner down and round it up to £80. But I don't think it's going to make very much difference to you. So that's £80 altogether. And what are you going to do?
I'll take him to auction.
I thought you might. Well, let's see what our David can do for you then.
Thank you.
They might make a little bit more, but I don't think they'll make much more.
Well, let's head over to the sale room and see if Hughie's made the right decision.
The reserve is 150 quid. Quite a strong price in the marketplace today. Are they going to make it?
We hope.
You hope so. Come on, Hughie, let's see what happens. They're coming up now.
We've got the Staffordshire flatback figures. Those are the ones. £100 bid for these straight away.
Straight in at 100 with commission.
110 bid there. 110, 120, 130 now. 140, 150, 140 with me.
140. They're looking for 150.
150 and 150 bid in the fresh basement.
150 a new place. At the reserve. I think this is not a bad price. These are bang out of fashion.
160 anywhere else. At £150 and being sold, your bid, 150.
Gavel's gone down at £150. Take away the commission, you're going home with 123 quid.
Yeah.
Now, come on, what are you going to do with that 123 quid, Hughie?
I should take my wife out.
Take your wife out?
Yeah.
So, will you go for a meal?
Yeah.
Or to a local country pub and have a bite to eat and a drink?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Well, you see, what's your wife called?
Pamela.
Pamela? Hughie's coming home with 123 quid in his pocket and he's taking you out tonight for a nice meal and a drinky. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Back in the den, an attractive vanity set has landed at Brenda's table.
My mother bought the set in 1983. I know how much she paid for it, and I'm looking forward to doing the deal.
I could do with this little item because I've got somebody who's wanting a christening present. The mirror would be fantastic.
Let's hope you buy it then.
So you brought me this very pretty little dressing table set.
I have.
Do you know anything about it, or is it something you've kept in a cupboard?
It's something I've kept in a cupboard. My mother bought it in 1983, and I've got the original receipt. And then when she died, I inherited it afterwards, and it's been in a cupboard or a drawer ever since.
It's not for you?
It's not for me, no.
OK. Well, it is silver. There's a little hallmark. Where is it? There it is. There's a little hallmark here. So it's 1932. It's typical of the 30s, early 30s. Right. And this design is called Sunburst, this design here. OK. These are clothes brushes and the hairbrush. Now, the only commercial piece amongst these is what?
The mirror.
The mirror. And why?
Because people don't want to reuse the other items they've been used before.
Exactly, exactly. With other people's brushes, people, unless it's just for display in their bedrooms, they don't really want to use other people's brushes. OK. What would you do with some money if I gave you some money for it?
I'm going with my husband and daughter to New Zealand later on this year for my aunt's 80th birthday, and I want to put the money towards a present for her. Going to Wainuiomata in the North Island and travelling to the south as well.
OK. You're here to sell it. You don't want it stuck in the drawer anymore. No. Shall I get some money out?
Yes, please.
Right. 10, 20, 30, £40.
No, it's not going to buy much for my aunt.
Okay. £50.
No.
£60.
No, the mirror's worth more
You see,
than
I'm
that.
paying for this, and I'm not scrapping that. I'm going to go £70, and that's where I want to leave it.
Now, Jackie, you've heard what our dealer says. She doesn't want to go any more than that.
Right.
Is that within your expectation, or were you hoping for more money?
I was hoping for a little bit more.
OK. What I can tell you is that the estimation on these is 70 to 90, and I think one of the auctioneer's estimations might just go around 100 quid. I don't think they're the most desirable things for a sale room at the moment, and so I'm going to say Brenda's offer is a little bit on the low side, but I think it's the current value for what's on the table.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So, Jackie, we've got £70 on the table. What do you think to that?
I would have liked a little bit more. My mum paid £85 in 1983.
Did she?
But, yes, she did.
Yeah, OK. Well, she's got her money back. They're out of fashion now, so I think you would do well at £70.
OK, then, thank you very much.
OK, it's a deal.
It's a deal.
Thank you.
I would have liked what my mum paid for it in 1983, but I'm quite happy with what I've got.
Paid a little bit more than I want to, normally about £50 for this sort of thing, but my client will be happy with the mirror.
Coming up.
There's people watching this who are going to say, David, hold your guns. They're pushing you.
There's a battle brewing in the den.
I think the good people of Oswestry want to see another tenner on there.
But who will win this war?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
It's been a busy day in Oswestry, but we still have time for one last shiny deal.
I brought 3 sovereigns with me today, 2 full ones, 1 half one. Hoping to make a bit of money out of it today, somewhere around the 550 kind of mark.
They're fairly straightforward, really, these days, because they have a quoted price. So all I've got to do is work on that.
Very confident there, David, but will you pay what Richard's after?
You're selling the family gold.
I am selling the family gold.
Why are you doing this?
Basically, I acquired the coins kind of 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not a big gold fan myself, so I don't really see any need for me to keep them.
OK. So we say you acquired them. How was that?
My grandfather gave them to me.
I see. Okay.
And like I said, they've been sitting in a drawer really for 2 or 3 years, collecting dust, and so I saw the show was on today. I thought it was a good opportunity.
Turn them into money.
Certainly.
I mean, you've got quite nice. This one's nice because it's Victorian bun head, so called because it's when Queen Victoria wore her hair in a bun. You've got an Edwardian sovereign and a little Edwardian half sovereign. I mean, these things have a set price almost.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Oh dear. That's not going to help, is it?
We'll see. We'll see.
Let's see what we can do. I mean, it's not rocket science, this is, because they have a set price. 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, £500.
I'd say it's a good start. I'd like a little bit more for them.
Well, let me explain how this works.
No problem.
So you don't have any problems with me. These are worth roughly for me to sell £550. And I do this to make a profit. So £500 cash to give me a profit, that's fair, isn't it?
I'd say you're certainly getting in the region. I'd like to maybe get a little bit more money for them.
Yeah. You would?
I would, yeah.
Will David give Richard the £50 more he's after?
So, Richard, £500. Give me a chance to make a profit. Here's David. He'll tell you the same thing.
Richard, I mean, I've listened to this conversation you've had with David. He's already told you what the price today, as we are speaking, a bullion dealer would assess those coins at. But let me also say to you, because they are sovereigns and a half sovereign, there are many private collectors and investors out there that will go to the sale room and say, I want those to tuck away for a rainy day. So they may be prepared to pay a little bit more of a premium. I think they're worth a little bit more.
You'd like to see another red one down there, I think?
Well, I think if we were not too greedy, I think if we had another 20 quid down there, you'd be having a very good deal. But that's up to David. He may not consider the martini good enough for what he's laying out.
Well, Richard, wise words from David. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, listening to what David's got to say, and I understand where you're coming from on this one. Like I said before, I would like a little bit more for it, so I want to see what you could do for me, probably.
I think you're quite good at this, Richard.
I knew you'd have a little tenner stash somewhere. I was thinking more purple, to be honest with you.
There's people watching this who are going to say, David, hold your guns. They're pushing you, and he's made you pay another tenner. Price of gold fell, ha, I got hurt. And there's people out there who are sympathizing with my problem. 510, shake my hand, Richard. It's fair.
I think the good people of Oswestry want to see another tenner on there and call it 520 and you've got yourself a deal. Come on then.
He won the day. Well done, that man.
Thank you.
He was cute, that Richard, wasn't he? Don't you think? I mean, I ended up paying right up to the mark. I mean, gold goes down as well, so I got a little bit of a speculation there.
I had a figure in mind when I came out today, and I've pretty much got there, so I can go on a nice holiday next summer and put the proceeds towards that. So, yeah, very happy camper.
Richard, we're really pleased for you. But have our dealers been able to turn their investments into profit too? Brenda had a bit of a mixed day.
No, sorry, no more money. No, not a penny.
She rang in a profit on the Bakelite telephone by selling it to a couple who'd always wanted one. And she sold the Victorian outfit to the owner of a stately home, who'll use it to dress a mannequin. But at £25, Brenda made a loss. And what about that vanity set?
My client will be happy with the mirror.
But Brenda was wrong, so it remains unsold. Poor Brenda. Remember Karen's photo album?
Do you know, I'm not going to lose this for a fiver.
She bought the antique book for £75 and sold it on for £85. The day turned out to be a tale of two Davids.
Great, thank you very much.
David Ford's missus never got her hands on that pewter basket, but a female collector did, for £200. And after all his worrying about the price of gold...
He won the day.
David sold the sovereigns on for £600. Not bad.
Fantastic.
And David Tupman quickly sold on that 19th century padlock and more than doubled his money. How does that feel, David?
Isn't that exciting?
Good stuff.
We've had a great day. There's been a huge crowd, lots of action, lots of buying, lots of selling. That's what I like to see. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. Ta-ta for now.